Of the 12 grand challenges of social work, we are here to inform you about building healthy relationships to end violence. Interpersonal violence has a traumatizing and lasting impact on individuals, families, and communities. With healthy relationships, people find strength and resilience to overcome the effects of violence. Today, we will discuss micro, meso, and macro level solutions to end violence and build community.
We will specifically be focusing on gender-based violence and child maltreatment and how these acts can and do have a major impact on forming a community.
U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimated that more than 1,600 children died from abuse and neglect in 2012 alone. Global estimates by the World Health Organization indicate that 1 in 3 women worldwide have experienced some type of intimate partner violence, sexually or physically. A study in 2014 shows that 1 in 8 children will have been a victim of child maltreatment before they reach 18. Their family systems are usually dysfunctional and violent. From the ecological perspective, they're living under leaderships where violence against children is not taken seriously. This can change. We have already identified actions needed. Visit aaswsw.org to find out about our plan and how you can help.
Global estimates by the World Health Organization indicate that 1 in 3 women have experienced some type of intimate partner violence, whether that is physically or sexually. Gender-based violence can affect a woman's physical, mental, sexual, and reproductive health, and often leads to an increase in sexually transmitted diseases. Women are more likely to experience intimate partner violence if they have had a low education, exposure to mothers being abused by a partner, abuse during childhood, and attitudes accepting violence, male privilege, and women's subordinate status. More information on gender-based violence can be found through the World Health Organization.
Along with gender-based violence, community violence is recognized by the World Health Organization as a major public health problem. People can fall victim to community-based violence at any moment by a variety of causes, such as experiencing gun violence or crime, school bullying, or even terrorism. Where there is community violence, there is an immense overlap in gender, children, and family-based violence as well. And as stated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Development, impoverished racial and ethnic groups are disproportionately and unjustly affected by community violence.
At the micro level, approaches toward providing strength-based support to individuals and families can be taken in order to educate and possibly prevent violence. For example, implementing relapse prevention and PTSD treatment plans that focus on the personal strengths of clients have proven to be beneficial.
To take on this grand challenge, we need solutions on the meso level as well. We need educational programs and community programs that are easily accessible for all families, regardless of their race or socioeconomic status. Everyone needs to know the alternative to violence, and everyone needs to have proper resources when they fall victim to violence.
Community violence covers many levels of trauma in society. So there needs to be big macro change to make progress towards peace. We must fight for inclusive and rehabilitating law enforcement policy. Rather than persecuting people who fall victim to community violence with incarcerations and law enforcement, our policy must focus on the well-being of all citizens and try to end the cycle of violence rather than perpetuate it. nearly 50% of people imprisoned will return within 4 years after being free. Considering person and environment theory, this proves the law enforcement response creates a cycle of failure rather than rehabilitation for people in communities of violence. Second, half of all homicides in America are caused by gun violence, and shootings are considered a cause of collective trauma. People are often in fear of community violence in places with loose gun control laws. We need safe and strict gun policy. Go to Amnesty International at amnesty.org to be informed on wide-scale armed violence and injustice. And we must reinvest in our communities, especially through education. Education can encourage diplomacy and realization of personal strengths. Education can also encourage communities to diversify to become more equitable. Go to the justicecollaborative.com or the Violence Policy Center's website to learn more about policy to end community violence.